either. I work very late every night, practically. We are now getting ready for a big affair for the benefit of my Talmud Torah. Remember those days? Still there? Okay. No, it was before your time. This was, your father must have been 18 years old at this letter, approximately, correct? 20. Okay. For the benefit of my Talmud Torah, and I have a load of work on my shoulders. I would have written to you a long time ago, but time and strength don't permit. On my program, I'm planning to make a big quiz program, namely sort of public test and questions. Now, being that you already had experience with a public test, I would greatly appreciate if you would rush me by return mail all the details with regard to the question style. I really have no set plan on how to work it out, and I'm counting on you. We have 3 weeks, so get it together. In general, I have loads of work in Hecht. What you don't do yourself isn't done, and it takes all your koiches to make sure to get things done that you won't get done. About my health, everything is okay. I hope that the affair that we're planning will be a big success. I only wish I had more time and patience to write you a detailed letter about my work. You would be happy. But I suppose it will have to wait. I had Finkelstein down to see the Ramash this week, and we were beginning to do some things. This week you also expect to get another person down to Merkaz. 2 weeks ago, Saul, I guess that's Uncle Shloima, spoke at one of the Farban meetings on the topic of Yisrael v'Arayis v'Kutshabichu Kol Echad. It was a wonderful talk. You would have had Hana. I guess everything will have to leave up to the Rabbi Shalom. How are things in general? I can tell you that in the Rebbe's quarters these days, there are moifsim rolling on the floor. But you need to look the right way. Tafshin Daled. Be well. Please answer soon. Make sure you send those questions. Any good pointers will be greatly appreciated. Now, a week later, he's writing another letter. A week or two later. How are you all? Baruch Hashem. I want to inform you that I didn't receive any of the tickets you should have sent to me, so please get it in the mail right now. So far, things aren't so hot, but Baruch Hashem, everything's will work out. I just want to see some nachas from all my work. Thank you very much for all the information you sent me. I will certainly use what you did send, making up the quiz program. Whatever, you go some detail with that. There's plenty of work to do. General, my Talmud Torah ranks as the highest one in all of Brooklyn. Of course. No question on that, right? Okay. Here's the juicy part. After all the other organizations... I planned my Talmud Torah banquet for a certain night. After me, all the other organizations followed in making their affairs. Blank picked the Sunday afternoon when mine was Sunday night for his blank meisid. The other one picked the week after mine for his big affair. And in general, Mereist von alle Seiten. That sound familiar, anybody? 80 years later, nothing changed. The more it changes, the more it stays the same. This week we took over another little store to start another Talmud Torah under a third teacher. I only hope everything should turn out right. Meanwhile, nothing new here. Be well regards. Take care of yourself. And tell all my friends in Worcester happy Purim. Love your loving brother, brother-in-law, and uncle, Yank. Okay, there's more, but leave it with this. The bottom line is that, as Shimon said, they each had a sprach with each other. And it was very special. I don't know if you guys have the letters my father wrote back. Somewhere they should be. Did you ever look for them? Huh? You do have them? No. You do have them? So why don't you send them my way? Okay. All right, so my older siblings had a lot more to do with Uncle Yankel and Tante Chava Aleim Hashalom and the cousins. I was the youngest. I am the youngest in my family, so we had less to do. But there were a few things that I remember very well from those early days. And I think some of you may perk up when I say this, and it was Erev Pesach, the night of B'dikas Chametz. Remember those days? My father would have to call Uncle Yankel to give him over the list of the names of all the people that sold the chametz. No fax machines, the letters took too long to send, the mail, who knows what, he didn't have it in time. So around 11, 12 o'clock, the night of B'dichas Chametz, the whole house is on wheels, and my father's sitting down in the basement, talking to Uncle Yankel with the names, giving over. Okay, you got it, Yank? Yeah. Okay, Bill Berkowitz, Bill, not Phil, Bill. On and on, this goes around for 20 minutes. This guy, yeah, $2 he gave me. He never walked into my shul the whole year, but he knew that if he had to sell his chametz to a different rabbi, he'd have to give him $5. So he came here to give me $2. I'll give you his name, here's his name. We used to sit and listen to us, and we were sitting and listening, plotzing. Here are two people that could move mountains. It's Erev Pesach, B'dikas Chametz, and they're playing around with names of this guy and this one and that one. Phil, Bill, it didn't make a difference. But this went on for now until later on, finally, why should our parents do it? I remember sitting with Shimon, Levi, Bini, Rachel. We took it over a little bit, but this was the Ibrigebenkeit that they had. If there was a job to do that had to be done, like he writes in his letter, if you don't do it yourself, it doesn't get done. So I want to talk a little bit about the kviyas of Tu B'Av this year being in between Parshas V'Eschanan, Parshas Ekev. We know the Rebbe makes a big deal about the Siyam Masechtas Makas with the story of Rabbi Akiva and the Chachamim when they came to Yerushalayim and they came to Rome and they saw what was going on. And actually, Akiva is Oisius Yaakov with an aleph. Right? Parshas Ekev is Ekev without the Yud. So it's all connected to B'Av, and where the main character of the story is, of course, Yaakov. The Gemara says, at the end of the Masechta, the Gemara says that the three Chachamim, Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Yeshua, and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, were walking with Rabbi Akiva in Rome, and the three rabbis saw and heard the tumult from all things that were happening in Rome. They're singing and dancing and having a great time. They started to cry. And Rabbi Akiva starts laughing. So he says, why are you laughing? He says, why are you crying? So Gemara says, so Rabbi Akiva answers, those who don't serve Hashem. Look what happens to people. Seemingly, these are terrible people. They were in Rome to detract some of the xeris that Rome put on the Jewish people. And these guys are having the time of their lives, and we are sitting here breaking our heads in Gullus, all kinds of terrible things happening to us. So Rabbi Akiva says, you want to know why I'm laughing? I'll tell you why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because there's a big picture that everybody has to see here and you might be missing. It's not just isolated incidents. There's a big picture, and the big picture is if the ones who don't do what the Eibusher wants get paid this way, can you imagine the reward of those those who are ultimately going to get the greatest prize in the world for doing what Hashem wants of us? Okay, comes a different trip that these four people are together, and this is actually in Eretz Yisrael, in Yerushalayim. And they're on Har Tzofim, Mount Scopus, whatever it was. They're looking over the Har Abayis, and they see a shul, a little fox running out of the Makam Beis HaMikdash. And the three rabbis start crying, and Rabbi Akiva starts laughing in the same discussion. So they say, what do you mean, why we're crying? The place where it says, V'azor HaKarev Yumas, even if a stranger walks into that place, he's going to die, and now a shul, a fox is running around, we shouldn't cry? So he says, Rabbi Akiva says, I'll tell you why I'm laughing. Because there were two nevuahs. There was a nevuah of Uriah in the Beis HaMikdash, the first Beis HaMikdash, and there was a nevuah of Zechariah in the second Beis HaMikdash. The nevuah of Uriah was Tzion Sadat Ticharesh, that there will be a time when the Beis HaMikdash will be destroyed. But there's also a nevuah of Zechariah where it says, Or Yeshus Keinim Muskeinos B'Chayvis Yerushalayim. elder people will sit in February in the streets of Yerushalayim. So Rabbi Akiva says, as long as the first one didn't happen, we can't hope for the second one. Now that the first one happened, we saw the Churban, we're watching the Shua running around the Beis HaMikdash. It's true, it's a terrible thing, but look at the big picture, guys. Look and realize that this is only the prelude towards the ultimate bracha of the Eibusher rebuilding the Beis HaMikdash, because Zkanim and Zkanes are going to be sitting in Bechutzas Yerushalayim. So what's the difference? Why did the Gemara go into such detail here? Why you're laughing, why you're crying, and why did they heard the same answer from Rabbi Akiva. They should have realized on the second time around, Rabbi Akiva would say something like that. So what's going on here? Who are these people? First of all, Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, they were a Kohen Levi in Yisrael. They were people of tremendous pedigree. They weren't little kids. They're Tanoim, they're great, wonderful people. Their names are all over the Gemara. Rabbi Akiva's Makkah, Rabbi Akiva's source was a Ben Gerim. He was from Gerim. What's the difference in their upbringings? The three Chachamim were brought up in beautiful homes, with Torah, with Avodah, with Chasodim. They had a beautiful childhood and grew up to be great leaders amongst Bnei Yisrael. Rabbi Akiva was a poor shepherd. Rabbi Akiva had to sit and watch how water had to drop onto the rock. For 40 years, he didn't know the difference between an aleph and a beis. What was going on in Rabbi Akiva's mind all those years? Someday, I'm going to get to where I want to be. Someday, I'm going to have 24,000 students. His dream, his vision, his ability to see to the future, that's what made Rabbi Akiva Rabbi Akiva. The others, wasn't a big deal for them. That was their natural way of doing things. But to Rabbi Akiva, the ability to say, that one who comes from humble upbringing could be growing to be one of the greatest people and the teachers of Bnei Yisrael, that was a beautiful thing. To Uncle Yanko, who was important? The big shot, the statesman, the Gvir, or the poor orphan or the poor widow who stood outside his door asking for something? To Uncle Yanko, it was the poor woman who couldn't see past her nose, didn't know where the next drop of food was coming from. And he had to be the one to show her, don't worry about it. It's going to happen. Things are going to straighten out. There's a big Eibusher in the world. And yes, there's a Churban, and there are challenges, and there are difficulties. But there will come a time you will see that things will straighten out, and you're going to smile. And you're going to sit in the streets of Yerushalayim, and you're going to be happy, and you're going to be proud, and you'll bring up a door of children that you yourself won't even believe these are your children because of the great tzidkas that they have. So that's what Akiva is. That's what Ekev is. What is Parshas Ekev? We talk about the mitzvahs Shadam Dash Ba'Kevav. The mitzvahs that people don't even bother thinking about because it's a simple little nothing. You walk right over it, you tread over it. How about the people that we consider sometimes that we're Dash Bakvayim? The people that we wouldn't give 2 cents for, that we didn't care about, they won't amount to anything. Why waste the time? No, this is Parshas Ekev. It's Uncle Yanko, Rabbi Yehuda Hecht, the one to go out there and say, this child, this woman, this man, no one can give 2 hoots for them, but I'm going to make sure that they have what they need, that they can be able to prosper and grow in Torah mitzvahs, in their yadus, in their livelihood, and become proud members of Bnei Yisrael. And that's what the diuk, and that's what the Rebbe speaks about in the Sikha of the greatness of Rabbi Akiva. He was able to see to the future. Yeah, it may be a lousy situation now. And when the brothers would get together and throw around their Mordor Shchayra, boy, you wanted to get out of there quick because that's all they knew how to talk about. But deep in their hearts, what were they filled with? Simcha and happiness. It always reminds me when my father passed away and the Rebbe spoke about Moshe and Yitzchak. So the Rebbe spoke, one of his names was Yitzchak, which is the Tachlis HaSimcha. He lived his life in Tachlis HaSimcha. For all the nephews, nieces, and everybody else here, I don't think that would be the first word that comes to mind when you sat and talked to my father. But well, the Rebbe said it, so it's true. Tachlis HaSimcha was there. There was something covering over it. Didn't make a difference. When push came to shove and the work had to be done, get out of the way. Do what you have to do. Leave your other stuff on the side. Plow forward. It's very important for all of us here Kulanu b'nei echad nachnu. We all have special talents. The children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren of the Hechts. Let's remember what our koiches are. Let's remember that the Rebbe gave us koiches. The Rebbe once sent a letter to my father. It's very interesting, Oishbrach, about going, one of the simchas, my brother Yossi in Eilat, the Rebbe says he should go to Senator Ribicoff in Hartford, Connecticut, and tumble about the shtachim, and come back with a quote from Ribicoff to go to the Rosh Mimshala in Israel. V'yedaber ba'azus de Hecht v'habreitkeit shalahem. Should speak with the chutzpah of Hecht and the breitkeit that they have. He didn't say about him, he said the Hecht. Everybody in this room has to realize that. Now, chutzpah can be used sometimes for not such good things. Obviously, the Rebbe meant it for chutzpah mitzad ha'tov, that we have the ability and the strength to go out and do what the Rebbe wants. Does it take chutzpah? Does it take guts? So who then to look at if not Rabbi Yankov Yehuda Hecht to say guts and chutzpah? But it's all permeated with tzidkas, with brachas from the Rebbe, with things that they knew they had to accomplish to make the world a better place, to fulfill their shlichus on this world. There was nothing more important to any of them, and to Yankel more so than maybe some others, how their job is to fulfill what the Rebbe wanted of them, and nothing would stay in the way. That was what was important, and all of us have the same koiches. Maybe we have to dig down a little deeper. Maybe we have to go for a walk and think to ourselves, where is it, how can it be, how can I find it? That's okay, take your time. Not too much time, but get it straight in your head. If you get it straight in your head, you're able to zero in on the things that you and I and everyone in this table knows that he or she can fulfill. And that's, I think, the message we have to say when we come to the yard site, the 32 years and 33 years. And we're trying to connect. How do we connect? We connect with the pa'ulas that the Baal HaYard site lived with. All those things were very special. So I think we all have to remember that. We're also another point, keep in mind, which I think is very important. The expression of midgets on the shoulders of giants. Every single one of us is a midget on the shoulders of giants. Maybe you think you're a giant yourself. Go ahead. Think about it. Live with it. But if nothing else, we're midgets on the shoulders of giants. And when a giant forges through rivers, and a giant traverses mountains, and ice and cold and rain and storm make no difference, the little midget, the little child, the little person on the shoulders of the giants get to where they have to go. And true, if we look at the challenges that sometimes are in front of us, we can say, who am I? I'm this little guy. I would try my best, but I can't do it. Remember the zchus avos that each of us has. Remember that we can all continue to lean on and jump on the shoulders of the giants when we need to. And taka, sometimes when we really don't feel the strength, so what do you have to do? You think about, what would our parents do? Well, how would they face this challenge? They'd go at it and they'd be successful. We got to do the same thing. There's no turning back. There's no alternative. Fulfill what you have to do. That's what's important. I think that's the message that we want to talk about. Another thing from my father, which I think is important. I don't know exactly what my father wrote to the Rebbe, but the answer is clear. The Rebbe wrote that B'teva ha'achim Hecht, by nature the Hecht brothers. No, the Rebbe writes a normal mensch, or I don't know, maybe it was normal. I don't remember the exact word. A mensch. Am bezog them, soll nicht reinsparen the finger in heiße Wasser, I'll translate. Soll nicht reinsparen the finger in heiße Wasser, weil wird sich abbrennen, hört dazu. You tell a person there's a cup of hot water, don't put your finger in there, because if you do, you're going to burn yourself. No person says, okay, I'm not going to put my finger in there, I'm out, I'm done. Aber beteva ha'achim Hecht, mit their Vater SHea, this is still when SHea was like 1953. Darfen sie allein ausprobieren. They have to check it out themselves. They don't take hot water. I'll put my hand in there anyway. They have to check it out themselves. Spart dahin the finger, and they put their hands in. Now, wie bald als sie haben eine spezielle Brache von der Rebbe im Schwer, ist der Abbrechen leichter. Because they have a special bracha from the Frierdiker Rebbe, The burn is a very light burn. We know what it's like. Sometimes you burn yourself, you can't deal with it. And sometimes, okay, it's a little burn, it gets red for a while, you put it in cold water with an ice cube, you can go on. The upbeing is a leichter. You know what bracha that is? Everybody here, are we on the same page here? The upbeing is a leichter. The Rebbe is giving everybody a bracha. The teva Hecht didn't say which one, all of them. Our nature is, we got to do things ourselves. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense, but we have a juking cup, we have to figure it out ourselves. But the bracha is, nothing's going to happen to you. Throw yourselves into the things you have to do. And get up being the things that you shouldn't be doing, and you still have a bracha, imagine the bracha that you have, the things that you should throw yourself into, into everything that has to be done. Not only won't be burned, you'll have atzlacha l'mayim min mashur. It works both ways. And that's what we have to keep in mind, and that's the reason for this mesiba, and that's the reason for getting together to mechazik each other. Kulanu bnei echad nachnu, bish echad nachnu, whatever the lashon is. We're all part of the same. We're cut from the same bolt of cloth, and if we're cut from the same bolt of cloth, work hard, make it happen, do what you have to do to fulfill that, what the Rebbe wants of us, what the Eibusher wants of us, and we'll be matzliach. Be matzliach in a crazy way. I want to share one vart, which I think you'll appreciate. Actually, it's from Meir Shapiro. He said, the pasuk we have in this week's parasha, Hayim Shemaya, so he says, we each have a responsibility to teach our children. He says, I want to ask you guys, you're sitting amongst people, he says, I want to ask you a question. When you have a shochet, so how does it become a shochet? He's got to learn all the halachas. He has to be tested at the halachas. He has to get Kabbalah from another shochet. He has to practice, and the other shochet watches him. Yeah, nice lit. Rav Simanim, everything good, perfect. Know exactly what to do. A kosher, a chicken, a kosher, baby, beautiful. So Meir Shapiro says, that's all very nice. At the end of the day, what did you give the guy? You're so makbid, he should learn and know and everything, all halachas and practice, and do it right. The pastum you gave my behema. You gave the guy an animal. And you're so worried. Did he do it right? Did he not do it right? Rav Simanim, not Rav Simanim. You're giving a child to a Melamed. You're giving a child to a counselor. You're giving a child to somebody to be madrich them. And you just, okay, you and you, go this one. We have to realize and understand what a mechanech is. We're all in that business. To be mechanech another person, it's not just, put the kid down on the table and teach him. Go through the test that the sheikh who has to be Kabbalah Behema has to do. Learn halachas, get Kabbalah, experience, try, figure it out. How are we going to make this more interesting for the child? There's no such thing as a child who's a bad kid. The Melamdim, the teachers, all of us are screwballs. We don't do our job. But everybody else is the kids are beautiful kids, and that's something Uncle Yankel lived with. And I know it. And just want to mention also something interesting that I was thinking about. The Rebbe spoke when Uncle Yankel passed away that Rabbi is the gematria of Yaakov Yehuda. You know what else is the gematria of Yaakov Yehuda? Zayin Adar. 212. What does 212 signify? 212 signifies the boiling point. You get to the point you can't do it anymore. No, there's no way out. You're in that pot, you're going to boil. You're going to boil, you're going to turn to steam, you're going to be hot, it's going to be tough. You're stuck in there. You got that boiling point, that 212 is going to keep you going. Not only will it take you away from what you have to do, it'll give you such a bren and such chayas and such ability to really zero in on what you have to do. The Eibusher's Ohel, and all of us here should do what we have to do to bring Mashiach, to do what the Rebbe wanted, to fulfill what our Zaydis and our parents would want us to do sitting here today. And let's use this Shas HaKosher as a Hiserus. The Yartzeit is a special day. There's special koiches that we all derive. Let's use it as a Shas HaKosher for tremendous Hiserus and all things we have to do. And first and foremost, gesund. Everybody should be healthy. The shidduchim that people need, the brachas, gesund, parnasa, all the things that we need. L'chaim, l'chaim.
So a big yasher koyach to SHea because he just answered my question. As he was speaking, I realized I'm embarrassed. But yeah. So what was Zaydi's mitzvah Zohar Tzvei? Zaydi was Zohar Tzvei and what the Rebbe wanted. That was the most important mitzvah to him, and that was the mitzvah he made sure to do. From all other mitzvahs, he was doing what the Rebbe wanted. So SHea, thank you very much for enlightening us this evening, and hopefully inspiring us as well to continue to go on. Ohel, and may, as Daddy mentioned, Sunday morning in Camp Amuna on Yudalad Menachemav Tavshin Nun, seit Kinderlacht eint bei Nacht, ist ein größer Yontiv, ich kann schon nicht warten. We couldn't wait for this big Yontiv, so now that we are on this Yontiv, may Hashem bless us that it should bring many more Yom Tovim for all of us, all those young men and women who have to be blessed with Shidduchim. May this day bring with them the blessings that they need to make good to Shidduchim, whether you decide to make the wedding in a tent, or you decide to make it in wherever it may it be b'shatei matzlachas. And the main thing is it should happen already. It should happen already, and we should, the Rebbe should bless us with the Geltmod of Hamas and Machanal Chassanis. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. We'll be benching in a few minutes, and stick around for Ma'ariv.
Don't forget to bench or make a bracha achroina, whatever you have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to help clean up, we greatly appreciate it. Any good food, we'll try to take off. We'll try to figure out what we're going to do with it, but let's try to save the good food. Rabbi Shlem Leib, did you wash? Shira Malais. Anybody care to take some chicken home, please? Some chicken. Good, thank you. Please.